You look just like I did at your age.
Please don't say that, Dad.
I'm 16 years old. I'm not a child.
Don't you take that tone of voice with me, young lady.
Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
You're listening to Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. Two friends since first grade, now dads reliving the Disney movies we grew up on with our own kids. I'm JB Wagner.
And I'm Eddie Ferguson. And on today's episode, we have finally figured out what to do with those pudding cups left over in our lunchbox as we review Airbud. But first, JB, how are you guys doing? You've had a few things going on in life.
Couple things going on. We are finally in our new home.
Yay!
As you can see from the beautiful view behind me. I am not in a bedroom like I normally would be. I am in the dining room because we tried to get this thing started beforehand and realized quickly, you know what? It doesn't work too well to Zoom from the farthest room from the Wi-Fi. It's just not a great, and the farthest, almost the farthest part from in the farthest room too. It's not like I was on the wall near it. Anyways, so we had a mad dash for the last 15 minutes trying to get this thing up and going.
We'll have to talk later about Wi-Fi systems like mesh networks and stuff like that.
Yep. Or even just running a good old fashioned LAN cable from one room to another. But anyways, so I'm here, made it. I was so proud of myself because last night I set up all my podcasting stuff, had it all ready to go. Perfect. Like even figured out how to situate my light so I didn't have the giant stand anymore. I had it on top, had it connected via your favorite, an Alexa controlled plug. So I could just say, hey, Alexa, turn on Zoom light, and it would turn on and be nice and bright in my face. But no, I am now at the dining room table and I should take a photo of my mad crazy thing. And my wife ran into the bedroom to talk to, I believe, her mom, because she was like, well, if I'm going to talk, I got to go back in the bedroom. So we have swapped spots right in here. So but we've made it. It says we're recording. It shows we're recording. So we're here. The kids actually did pretty well throughout the whole process of just the move and all the changing. But this is officially termed the new house. This is the new house. And every time we drive over to the other side of town, my son always says, are we near the old house, Dada? Are we near the old house? Say, I want to go he's very proud of his new house because he's got a little bit more space to run around, and he's got his own bedroom now. So that's a big deal. And actually, surprisingly, because our kids always seem to, like, they've lived in the same room their entire lives, other than a couple months when my daughter was first born, we were wondering how it was going to go. And what's weird is we used to black out their rooms completely, like literally put black trash bags on the windows to black it all out. We didn't have it when we first came in, and my daughter did. We had to put her down for some naps. She's doing great.
Hey,
even better. So I don't know what, maybe the darkness disoriented her or what, but she's doing even better in the new house than she was at the old house with napping. So I don't know what that does. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it is
all
what it is.
Of life revolves around how good your kids sleep.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand people that don't, like, just kind of throw them all, like, we don't run our lives by it, but by any means, but we definitely make room for those naps and stuff like that. And it just makes it makes life so much easier. But
yeah. And I mean, like, if your kids aren't sleeping well, if they're not getting good sleep, like, nobody's getting good sleep.
No,
nobody's having fun. Yeah.
Not at all. So
it is difficult.
But we're here, we're breathing, we're here to do another podcast. And I'm so excited about what you have to offer for the Disney news, because I have not gotten to delve into this much at all because of the craziness of our life. Eddie, what is the Disney news that we're talking about?
Yeah, so this kind of came out of nowhere last week. The CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, was on some like random like Wall Street earnings call thing or whatever. And he actually they did announce that subscribers are like slowing down. It's not hitting the target rates that they would prefer for Disney Plus, which I think kind of leads to why they're doing this. But they have created this new thing. This will be the inaugural. So I'm assuming it's going to be a reoccurring thing. Every year on the anniversary of the launch of Disney Plus, they're going to have what they're calling Disney Plus Day, which he said this will be a grand scale celebration of our subscribers across the entire company. So I don't know what that means. For this year, what they have announced so far, Disney Plus is going to be launched into a lot of new markets, especially in Asia and Asia Pacific. But it is when a lot of new content is going to be coming to Disney. So this is the day that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is going to be coming available to Disney Plus. Which is
a little bit early.
Little bit early, bypassing the Premier Access thing. It is it's right in that. This is when Jungle Cruise is going to come out from behind the paywall. This is going to also be the premiere of their new holiday movie called Home Sweet Home Alone, which is their new take on the popular franchise.
Interesting.
We're getting a new original series of shorts about Olaf, which I can never get enough Olaf. I love Josh Gad and all of those things. We're getting several other shorts. We're getting a new animated short film from Pixar featuring the characters of Luca. So if you liked Luca, gonna get a little bit more of that. And then there's going to be the new season of The World According to Jeff Goldblum coming out. So several just kind of random things that are just being launched all on this day. I think what I'm looking forward to is, they're saying that it's being celebrated across the company. Are we going to get any kind of random special things happening that day? Yeah. I don't know. But it looks like they're trying to do something for the subscribers, make it kind of feel special that you are a Disney Plus subscriber.
What is the 2 year? It's pretty close to the 2-year anniversary of the launch, which was.
I think it's right on the 2-year anniversary.
I couldn't remember if it was the 12th or the 18th. For someone, I don't know why I had the 18th stuck in my head, but
yeah. So November 12th. They're saying to celebrate the second anniversary, and this will be an ongoing thing, which is crazy to think that Disney Plus has already been out. We're coming up on 2 years.
It's crazy. Are you getting sad because you're
only got 1 year left?
You only got 1 year left of your 3-year subscription that you're able to bulk price, that you're going to lose all that.
No, like this is going to throw our budget.
Throw your budget completely out of whack.
I know. Well, yeah, we could go into this. We had to sign up temporarily for Paramount Plus. And I got to tell you, worst streaming service ever. And I'm like immediately downgrading. At least they give you like a week trial.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. This is awful. This is awful. And then we're still debating if we're going to keep it. It's
Why
all
did you
for
sign up
Survivor.
For it? Survivor. Okay.
A new season of Survivor started this past week. So
we have it.
I'm happy with Disney Plus. I think it is, from a user interface, like one of the best streaming services out there.
We have it only because we can't get over the air. We should actually try again now, but I think it's got to be worse than it was. We don't have cable, but we want to get CBS for the football games over the air. And
a lot of Colts games come through there.
Yeah, few Colts games a year we get, like this past Sunday when we played the Titans. But where we were before, we couldn't get any airwaves whatsoever. We couldn't get a single channel with an antenna. So we had to use CBS All Access to be able to actually get and stream CBS. So that's kind of why we've kept it now that it's reiterated into Paramount. There's been a few shows like Colby watches 48 Hours, I think, through that as well. But overwhelmingly, like I wouldn't have it if we didn't have to have it. So
right,
but
yeah.
Whatever.
it just reminded me of like, yep, I really like the Disney Plus interface. I think it's a smooth user experience. But
you know what else is a smooth experience? This transition to what we're really supposed to be talking about today. Which, yeah, we are going to be, as we continue our march from 1988 all the way through 2005, all the major Disney movies in our childhood, whether we like them or not, we are rewatching them, and we're going to be talking about them, revisiting some of the classics. And today we've got a classic one that spurned off a whole franchise, a whole universe of dog movies, as my son calls it. And that today we are talking about is Airbud.
Cue the Disney sound effect.
Okay, so the IMDb description for Airbud is this. An unexpected player joins the school basketball team. A circus dog who escaped from a cruel master. I feel like I needed like a dash or a comma or dot, and then that. I couldn't really speak it out loud very well, but
this is probably one of the worst descriptions we've gotten. Is that fair to say?
We should have been keeping track of the worst ones that were on here.
I feel like this misses it completely.
It's just about the dog, not about the kid's journey.
Well, and also look, like it says nothing about a dog who can play basketball.
You're right.
Like that's a pretty big part of this movie is, oh, hey, here's a dog who can play basketball.
Kind of missed that. It's assumed if he's on the team, but you could have said that he's a mascot, which he was at the beginning of this. It's not great. It's not great.
It's not great. So at first, maybe it's the dash here, right?
Dash.
An unexpected player joins the school basketball team. Shouldn't it be like, comma, a circus dog who escaped? Because I saw it as two things. I thought it was like the boy is the unexpected player, and then there's this dog.
No, I think it's just talking about the dog.
It's bad. This is a bad description through and through.
The more we talk about the word, like at first I was fine with it, but I think I filled in the gaps in my brain. But you're right. This is bad. This is not great. Not great at all. Eddie, was this as classic of a rewatched movie in your household as it was for us?
Yes. Like I had seen it multiple times.
Okay. I was getting scared there. Like that there was an animal movie I had seen more than you had.
It was in the rewatching that I realized like it has been a really long time since I have seen this. And there was huge parts of it that I had totally forgotten about. Like halfway through the movie, I'm like, what else is there left in this movie? Like what, how are we only halfway through? Oh yeah, there's that part. Oh yeah, there's that part. Oh yeah, they go to the state finals. Oh yeah, there's this bit. Yeah. So
rewatching it again this time, because you kind of remember all the big things, obviously him shooting the basketball and other things. I forgot how much of a slow burn it is. Like a slow burn that I appreciated the time they took to have this kid like work through his own issues, work through the situation, slowly earn the dog's trust, and then come into the home. And the whole time he's the manager of the team, and he doesn't even get onto the team and the dog show his stuff until the midway or after point of this film, where a lot of movies now it'd be like 12 minutes in, you got to see the dog doing its thing, and then they've got to be on the team, and then the rest of the movie is him earning a spot or whatever. I kind of appreciated the fact that they kind of slow burned this longer than I remembered.
And there was like actual character development.
I know, weird, right?
Yeah. And I think what happened here, we'll dive right in on what happened with this film, right? They made this movie for $3 million.
No.
Yes.
No. You can't.
Yes.
You can't do any of this you can't do like 2 scenes for $3 million.
So I'm just going off of Wikipedia here.
That's wrong.
The film was successfully, it totaled $27.8 million
in
its gross.
It only grossed that much?
It only grossed that much. It only grossed about $28 million. But they made it for $3 million.
Yeah, so they made 10x their money.
Yeah, to them, this is like a huge financial success. What really comes of this is the franchise.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which this is Disney's second highest grossing direct to DVD franchise, only behind Disney Fairies.
Wow.
Over 12 films. 14 films in the franchise. 14 films in the franchise.
Oh my God.
And they have grossed over $220 million off of this thing.
No, 220 doesn't sound like a ton for that many films. No. Unless they literally spent $1 million per film, in which case kind of is. Interesting. So interesting. I say all that to say, like, I think by the right before I rewatched this, I don't know if I've watched this since I've seen like all of these, cowboy buddies and space buddies football and stuff. Yeah.
They've done every sport, every occupation. They're now puppies doing this. There's that, it's just like, and I haven't even seen those, right? Like I've just seen the trailer or the box cover. There's no way I'm sitting through that. So that's kind of colored my rear view mirror perspective on this movie, where I'm just like, I don't know.
Can I tell you what my wife said before I tried watching this film?
Yeah.
So as I'm like about to turn it on and I'm like, hey, is it cool if we watch the movie that I got to watch for the podcast? She's, yeah, sure. What are you watching? I'm like, Airbud. And she was stopped me. She was like, hold up. I don't know if I want to watch that with the kids. The dogs talking is really unsettling to me. I don't know if I want to watch that with the kids. And I was like, I don't think that's a part of this one. She's like, no. Like the talking dog mouth thing that not like Homeward Bound, but like the actual talking dog. I'm like, I don't think the dog talks in this at all. Like, so we had to like pull up a trailer to watch and just like, is there any scenes with talk with a, just because it was so unsettling for her that.
So we've talked about this, right? We've talked about dogs talking. Like we don't like that their mouth, whenever their mouth moves,
the
that's
physical
just
mouth
weird.
moving.
Yeah, that's
it's
just
weird.
Creepy. But then it's also just odd, like that you can hear their thoughts or something, like how it's done in Homeward Bound. There's a part where like this just seems, dare I say, more natural.
Yeah.
to just like
you can look at the dog and know what he's thinking. And they even got some reaction shots in there. There's some moments where he was like kind of like upset, like he just like the way he looks, and it's just like a little kind of just like tells you everything you need to know.
How did he do that? What was that?
It's kind of like the door creaking in an old house.
Yeah.
So
you watched it with the kids?
Yeah, and they loved it. All the practical joke, like every time things would fall apart and the paint's going everywhere, or the guy wrecking his car. Like, they all loved those kind of funny moments.
I watched this with my kids as well, and I was shocked how well it held their attention the whole way through. Even Ellie is almost 1.5. And she's just glued the whole time. She loves dogs. That's like her favorite thing right now. So that went really far in helping her hold that. But yeah, I was really shocked how well this held their attention. And it's a good story.
It is a good story.
Like it's a good movie. Like honest, true character development where it's like, okay, the kid's gone through significant loss. He's in a down trodden place in his life, but you're not annoyed by him. You know
No.
how sometimes when like kids are in a rough spot in a movie,
He's
they
trying to
just
make
are
the best
brats?
of it. He's going into the tryouts, even though he's emotionally inflicted. He sticks around. The coach gives him a job, which, by the way, when I was a manager of the basketball teams over the years, I never was that sweaty when he was like airing up all the balls. I was like sweating profusely. I did appreciate they used child actors that looked like the age that they should be.
Yes.
That was a nice little touch.
And it's real dogs and real shots. I don't know if you saw that in the credits, but they actually said this was no special effects were used in the making of this,
which is amazing because I don't know how they trained them to go up that trellis.
So
did you do some research on this?
I did some research.
Get some behind the scenes shots of it?
I did. No, not some of that. So the dog actor, his name is actually Airbud. And Buddy was a stray dog found by a guy. It's based on a true story. More or less, yeah. And so he trains this dog that he found, this golden retriever, in basketball, baseball, football, soccer, hockey, like all these different sports. And like he had made several appearances like on America's Funniest Home Videos. He was on David Letterman's Stupid Pet Tricks. I don't know if you've ever seen that one going. So he was already kind of well known and established. And then he's in his last appearance, sadly, was Airbud.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's kind of art mirroring life a little bit here.
Yeah. Some of the things that they had the dog do to get up onto the house.
Yeah.
It felt real, but it was also like, how did they get the dog? Like, what are they doing to get it to get up the trellis and other things like that? That was wild. I'm imagining them like having to comp out like a team of people following the dog across the roof to keep it from like falling off the roof.
And I think that's what really made this, right? Is that you have some really good actors, some really good child actors. The main kid was really good.
You got the classic bad guy.
Classic
Snively,
bad guy
with the weird name.
And then Bill Cobbs is in this. He is Coach Arthur Chaney. He is in the greatest movie ever made in the history of film. He is Del Paxton in That Thing You Do.
Of course you'd bring that up.
So anybody who's in that movie, of course, is, phenomenal in any and every other movie that they're a part of. So it was good to see him in that. But yeah, it just kind of had so many fun little moments and explorations from it. A
lot of montages.
A lot of montages. I love when the dog gets entered into play and he's like, the dog travels with us and the dog practiced with us. There's nothing in your rule book that says this dog, can't play. And the referee, which is just like a classic 90s fumbling. Yeah. He's right. Nothing in the rule book says a dog can't play. Like, oh, yes, here we go. This is just fantastic.
The quote, does he dribble? No, but he might drill a little bit. I will say with the coach, though, the invisible ball practice game, no. Come on.
I thought it was good.
Hard out on that. That was just like too far. That's a bridge too far to do a whole practice where they're just passing the invisible ball. I'm sorry. No. I did enjoy some other random scene. I'm just kind of going through all the random things I have on my list here. I enjoyed the courtroom scene with the gavel that they kept on like coming back to. That was a fun humor they don't do anymore.
Courtroom experience is so good.
With the really old crusty judge that isn't getting what's going on here, and then he becomes a fan of the coach coming in. Yeah, that was all kinds of stuff. One thing I do not appreciate the amount of tapioca pudding being used in this because it's the worst pudding by far.
Well, that's why it's left over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do they even make tapioca pudding?
It's so gross.
Nobody likes it.
Especially
gross.
Especially the pre-sealed, pre-made stuff. Because I'm sure people can make it naturally really good or whatever, but this is this is like the grossest of the gross pudding that I'm just like, oh, just even thinking of the dog eating it makes me.
Well, and then you know me, I can't do mouth noises at all.
And it's just all of that.
And then they've got the scene where he lines up all of the pudding cups and it's just over and over. And I'm just like, ooh, okay, hum something, da, 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 don't listen. When is this going to be over? When is this going to be over?
So there was a point of contention, speaking of that whole sequence at the basketball court that he refurbishes.
Mm.
Is that a set? Or is that actually near the water somewhere? Because there were times where I'm like, this looks like a back lot with a green screen. And other times, like when he pushes down the fence post, I'm like, and then it reveals the water. I'm like, this looks so like they really did put this court right next to the water. And even right now, I can't, my wife is completely convinced it's on a back lot. I'm just like, I can't tell. I really can't tell. There's times where they kind of blends together.
I thought it was filmed on location. To me, that was my
I know,
thought.
right? It kind of feels just enough like it's the water. That's the thing. I mean, it is very picturesque, but
and especially
it feels
for
close.
For 97, a budget of $3 million.
Yeah.
They're not green screening too well on that. I don't know,
but that was my random thing.
So here's my random thing. What's up with the little yellow bird? Did you notice this? Like the film opens on a yellow bird sitting on the sign, like rather focused on this little yellow bird. And then I don't know if you watched through the credits, but like the credits, they do different scenes and stuff of the dog, later on. And then it just ends with that same bird just sitting in a tree. You
know what it is, Eddie? It's the spirit of his dead father that they killed off before the movie started. It's the spirit of his father.
I don't know what it is, but I'm like, this is random. This is just totally random.
That'd be my guess.
That's your guess. That's a good guess. I hadn't really thought about it. I was just like, is this like some new director who's like, well, I'm shooting this dog movie, but I really have a passion for film noir and I want to be able to add some artistic styling to it.
No, I hope not, because that would be bad. That would be ill-advised.
So, what are your favorite, destruction scenes, right? We've got the bath scene.
There's probably too many in this. There's so many.
The paint and glue going all over the room. We've got the truck being totally destroyed.
The truck being totally destroyed. It's hard to top that because he loses a door in there. Everything falls apart on that car.
Such a great casting for that guy. What is this guy's name?
Well, it's
Michael Jeter, who I always confuse as what's his face? William H. Macy.
Oh, there's a little William H. Macy to him. No, but what I always think of when I see him is I always think of Mr. Noodle from Sesame Street.
Ah, yes.
He plays Mr. Noodle a lot on several of the episodes that my kids have watched. But no, the destruction of the car is one of the most epic ones of just everything falls apart before the car even gets into the water. But there's probably too many of those. There's so many destruction. Like on the courtroom, it's a destruction. Or
sure,
not courtroom, but on the basketball court. It's kind of like a whole destruction sequence, and the refs are running into each other. That was probably the end of like a little too many of them somewhere in there, but I enjoyed where the car falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, really, I was surprised. I was shocked how much I enjoyed this movie. I thought I was going to kind of cringe in going back and rewatching the beginning of the Air Buddies franchise, but doesn't inspire me to watch anymore. I'm good. This is all I needed.
You really don't need any more of them. I think the rest of them, it jumps the shark immediately.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as soon as it's puppies and they're going to space, no, I'm good.
And what we learned from the latest Fast and Furious movie, when you go to space, you can't top that. It's just
they go to space.
Eddie, you gotta check it out. You're missing out right now. Not watching the latest Fast and Furious movie.
I'm good. So we have, just so you're aware, we have Airbud. Then we have Airbud Golden Receiver. Mm-hmm. See what they did there?
Mm-hmm.
Airbud World Pup.
Oh my gosh.
Airbud 7th Inning Fetch. Airbud Spikes Back. Then this is when we start moving into what's considered the spin-off series. Air Buddies. Then we go to Snow Buddies. Then we go to Space Buddies. Then we decide, okay, Santa Buddies, Spooky Buddies. Then we have Treasure Buddies. Then we have Super Buddies.
This is the worst.
Wow.
Every
we
genre,
also then we have another spinoff that are the Santa Paws, right? Because we had the Santa Buddies. Now we have Santa Paws, and you've got the Search for Santa Paws, Santa Paws 2, the Santa Pups. So yes, it they went on and on and on. So really what we have is, we're strong in the sports theme for a while, right?
Space is really where it jumped.
Yes. Then we decide, okay, we've got some Snow Buddies. Now we're adventures, Space Buddies, Santa Buddies, Treasure Buddies. Any guess what the theming around that one is?
Treasure Island.
Indiana Jones style adventure.
I've seen the artwork in my head right now.
Yes.
I can see it.
Yes. Super Buddies, of course. The Air Buddies franchise has to get a cut of that Marvel slice, a slice of that Marvel pie. So that's where that's coming from. So 14 films in total.
I'm actually disappointed that they only made $200 million. That's actually kind of disappointing.
It's like
who kept doing all of this.
It's got to be some random producer that has the
blackmail on somebody.
Yeah, and he's just like, you're just going to keep milking my little cash cow over here, and he's making it.
Guess they need.
He's making like a mean, $1 million off of each of these, and he's just like, hey, I bought myself a cabin up in the mountains.
These have to be straight to the Disney Channel. Most of this stuff, right?
It's direct to DVD.
Man, did they just need
only the first one had a theatrical release?
So what you're telling me is that the good news is this is the only one we have to do.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Good job.
We can just act like the other ones didn't even exist. Just
no.
Do this one. It was good.
We just read them off. We just gave them their nod, but it is done.
I'm happy. I'm happy for
that. Are you gonna ever watch this again?
This is a rewatchable with my. I think I'd be totally. This is. Yes, I would. I know I just stopped mid sentence, but yes, I would turn this on because this was a fun. I mean,
The kids loved it.
Kids enjoyed it. I don't know if they watched the whole thing. I think I had to finish the last piece of it, but I did not hate it. And there's been a lot of bad ones. There's been a lot of bad ones.
I
enjoyed
loved George of the Jungle.
You know me. You're just reading me like a book right now.
As you guys were moving into the house, you're like, honey,
let's watch
put
it
on
again.
George of the Jungle in the background. We're going to unpack to one of my favorites.
Hard no on that.
So how many fruit snacks are you giving this one?
I'm going to give it a 3. It's right in the middle for me.
Me too. That's exactly what I was thinking. 3 fruit snacks.
It didn't reach the level of inspiration, but it was totally, this is something you put on the background.
But it wasn't perspiration.
It also was not perspiration or agonization, which is not a word.
Which some of these are.
Some of these are. So 3 and 3, that's what we're going with?
3. I like that. I think it's solid down the middle. So
right down the middle for us. Well, great. That is another episode of Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. You can go to honeywemade.com/movies and see the list of all the movies that we're doing, all the movies we have coming up, including next week, Eddie.
Rocket Man. This is the 1997 Rocket Man. So in case you're doing any Googling, we are not reviewing the biopic about Elton John. This is Rocket Man.
If you see Elton John in this, there's a problem. You're in the wrong whole section of Blockbuster right now. This is Eddie. This is just as a teaser. This is one of my dad's favorite movies.
Right there with him. I'm just gonna say, like, this was a rewatch multiple times in the Ferguson household. We're gonna have fun with this one.
There's only a couple of times I've seen my dad laugh harder than when he watched this film. So
I'm working on trying to get my whole family together to watch this with me in preparation for our next week's episode.
If they do, then that's got to be your story. That's got to be your story.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So
thanks for listening.